the United States of America. It's the home of democracy, but occasionally its voting ways may get a bit confusing for someone who isn't really informed on the subject. This is certainly the case with the presidential election, especially the part in which the parties choose their candidates for the general election. What does a primary mean? Or what goes on in a caucus? Welcome to Factually True Politics. Caucuses and primaries are the two forms of primary elections on the state level. In them, ordinary people select the delegates who will travel to the party's conventions, where the nominees for the general election are officially chosen. Basically, the amount of votes a candidate gets in the primaries and caucuses leading up to the convention will translate to the amount of delegates they will have voting for them on the main day. But what is the difference between these two methods? Let's begin with the more complicated of the two, caucuses. They are also the older of the two, and while most states nowadays deploy primaries, there are still some left who stick to their traditions by organizing caucuses. The exact rules of a caucus vary between the parties and from state to state, but the basic idea is the same. Let us walk you through the process of a typical caucus. A caucus begins with the people gathering at their local voting place, which can be anything from the basketball court at your kid's school to your friendly neighbor Todd's living room. Once everybody is at the scene, people divide into groups based on the candidate they support. The groups then proceed to debate each other, trying to convince people from the other groups to switch to the side of their preferred candidate. If a voter changes their mind at this point, they need to move over to the other group. After the debate, the number of people in each group will be counted to determine the amount of champions they get to select to the next round of the caucus, which is an hour-long free-for-all brawl with the men still standing at the end representing the share of delegates each candidate gets from the caucus. When the formal proceedings are done, the people are free to leave and not look at their neighbor in the eye for another year because they voted for that one asshole. But how about primaries then? Well, you go to a booth, check your candidate's name on a ballot, and that's pretty much it. Unless of course you want to vote for the wrong candidate, in which case you were supposed to register as an official party member 6 years before you were conceived, have no one else on earth say your name and orally please all your local party representatives. Finally, as the votes from all the caucuses and primaries are counted and the share of delegates is clear, we can move to the national conventions. But what if against all odds the candidate that the party elites have decided to give the nomination to hasn't won the popular vote? No worries, enter the superdelegates. Superdelegates are people who are more important than you and have a vote in the convention without being elected by the people, so they can ultimately decide to vote in favor of the best candidate, because they know what the people need better than the people themselves. After the conventions have formally chosen the candidates who were picked by the party leaders before the primary elections, we can finally start the process of choosing between a rich asshole and a lying cunt. Hopefully we have helped you to understand the complex clusterfuck that is American democracy. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, share it to your friends, and subscribe to Factually True for more interesting educational content. You can also click the links on the screen to immediately watch another Factually True video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning.